Hi, she's Lynda, purple belt.
And he's Marco, brown belt. And this is Speakeasy Jiu Jitsu.
Today we're talking about training injured or while sick and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing.
What are the benefits of training sick and or injured?
Number one, if you feel like you're getting sick or you feel like you have a fever, you shouldn't be on the mats. No way. You don't want to get anybody else sick or any of your teammates sick.
Right.
It's not only is a waste of your time if you're you should be in bed, but you're putting the rest of your teammates at risk, especially if somebody's getting ready for a competition or they have to go to work the next day. You can't train with people like that. You just don't want to get them sick. But if I was sick 2 weeks ago and I just have a drippy nose, I'm not contagious anymore, or I have allergies, then that's okay to get back on the mats. I feel like it's okay to get back on the mats. Make sure your hands are clean. You're not picking your nose on the mats. If we're talking about kids, little kids in the group class, I would say keep them home until they're well. Because I've had more than one, I don't know about you, but I've had more than once, kids picking their nose and then they're grabbing your lapel.
Coach Marco!
Yeah. But what about injuries? Do you feel like somebody should train through an injury?
I guess it would depend on the type of injury. If you have a broken leg,
yeah.
you probably shouldn't train. But if you have a sprained toe, you can probably just tape that sucker up.
Yeah. For a good while through my purple belt, I kept breaking my left pinky toe. I broke it 3 times in the course of 6 months. And it got to the point where I went to the doctors twice for it, and the doctor was just tape it to the other toe. Just stop coming in. And now it actually just flops around. It healed because it doesn't hurt anymore, but the toe didn't heal proper, and it just flops around over and over and over.
So what about the benefits for training while you are sick? What's the purpose of coming into class?
Well, I feel like if you're really sick, you stay home, but you're paying for class, so you don't want to miss out. Some gyms won't allow you to do makeups. We understand if you're sick, we allow you to come in and do an extra class the following week or 2 extra classes if you missed a week of training, just as long as you're better. So I think it could be beneficial for you if you're on the mend to train while you're feeling better or you're starting to get better, because number one, you're not missing class.
And you're not wasting your money.
You're not wasting money. And number 2, it's really worth it to learn how to train under distress and learning how to push yourself even when you're tired or you're not feeling well.
Right, because if you do get attacked by someone and it's a self-defense situation, you're not always going to be feeling 100%. So if someone tries to attack you in a self-defense situation, you want to have that type of experience where you're training while sick, because you'll most likely not be at 100%.
That's why we train so much. People ask, well, why do you train when you're injured, or you train while you're sick, or you train when you're tired, or when you have your wrist is hurting. This happens to me a lot. My wrist is hurting, and then it's time to train. I'm well, that's not so bad. and then I train on it, and it's because the day that I get into a fight, I might have just finished a big dinner, right? So I might be full. I don't want to do anything, but I'm in a fight, or I might have just smashed my leg in training the day before. But I need to learn how to train like that. I've trained with several injuries before. I've trained sick before. I know you have too. The one that I would say isn't beneficial to anybody is if
food poisoning.
Yeah, food poisoning. Either throw up or throw up from your bottom.
Something else.
Yeah.
Stay home.
Yeah, do not just stay off the mats, because you don't know if it's a bug or if it is food poisoning.
Right.
And that could spread like wildfire in the gym.
What about kids and injuries? Do you think kids should train while injured?
No. If a kid has a serious injury, you notice that your child is not playing right, or they just feel tired all the time and they don't want to do things, keep your kid home. Go get them checked out by a doctor. A lot of times parents will ask us, and we'll take a look because we're pretty familiar with injuries. But if a kid, I had my private student the other day. He came in, he did his private lesson. He told me he wasn't feeling well. He's 7 years old. He was supposed to do the group class right after, and he was just so wiped out from his private lesson. And he's never like that. I told him, look, you're just going to sit down. You can watch class. And he put his duffel bag down on the other side of the mats, and he fell asleep.
Yeah.
He was sick. And, sometimes parents, they don't listen to their kids you can train through it. But if the kid is sick, you're putting the rest of the class in jeopardy of getting sick too.
Right.
If your kid is sick, you're also you can be making them worse when they need to be resting. And I understand you're paying for classes, but we allow you to come back, or, you know, to come back another day when the kid's feeling better. And he was in class 2 days later just fine.
Right.
So he just needed to rest. Now, an injury, like if it's a broken bone or something, we had another student come in, and they were like, oh, his wrist is hurting, but we were just going to have him he fell off the monkey bars. We're going to have him keep doing class. It's fine. He didn't cry. He's fine, but he's complaining about his arm the whole time. I finally, they kept asking me what's wrong. And
Dr. Marco, what's wrong with my child?
I'm looking at his wrist. It's hurting. I'm like, okay, it might be a bruise. He came back, you know, a couple days later, did class again, and it was still really hurting him. And I finally told the parents, like, you have to go to the doctors. You have to get it checked out. Turns out it was fractured.
Good God.
So he was out of class for 2 weeks after that, and then he was back just fine. All I needed to do was be isolated in a cast and not put any weight on it, no punching, no kicking, no arm bars or anything like that. And then the kid healed just fine. So stay home if you're injured.
Children. Adults, no excuses.
Yeah, adults, you get your butt on the mats and train. No, if you're really not feeling well, you're gonna be hindering my training. So stay home.
Damn.
Today we're drinking E.H. Taylor small batch.
Are you supposed to swirl it? Are you supposed to smell it? I don't drink whiskey. So let's talk about how to train while you're injured. For adults, not children.
How to train while injured. It depends on the type of injury.
Okay.
If you have like a hand injury or an arm injury, let's talk about upper body right now.
Sure.
If you have like a hand or arm injury, if it's really bad, don't train on it as always, but always train at your own discretion. We're not doctors.
Please don't take our advice as medical advice.
I've hurt my fingers a lot while training. That's why they're swollen everywhere. I tape my fingers up when they do get injured. I try to train as much as I can without taping up my fingers. What I realized is I used to train every day with my fingers taped, and my fingers were never healing. And what it is, you can never close your hands. Your tendons never get to tighten up the way that they should after, because you know if you get like a grip break, your fingers pulls, and that hyperextends the tendons in there, and it creates swelling. And you're hurt, so you tape up your fingers. But if you train without that, you're able to close your hand again, and you're able to tighten everything back up. So I try to train as much as I can without my fingers taped. Of course, if you need it, if your fingers are like you really hurt one, you can always buddy tape, you can single tape. There's ways to tape up your thumb and your wrist, and we'll do a video on that eventually too as well. And I'll teach you guys how to tape up your fingers and your wrists. Also toes as well, same thing. You could train with broken toes. It all depends on how high of a pain tolerance you have and how important it is to train at that time. If you're training for a tournament, I would train with broken fingers or broken toes because it depends on how close the tournament is. If not, I would try to let it heal before I train again. I broke my sternum at one point. I fell on our teacher's knee. Hands down, one of the worst injuries I've ever had. Went to the doctors. They're like, yeah, his sternum's broken.
How can I fix it?
Yeah, they're like,
Can't.
go rest. And it was 8 weeks of hell. Sneezing, laughing, coughing, talking. I wasn't teaching as much back then. I was training a lot, so I was able to let it rest and heal the way it should. But I feel like even after it was healed, my chest would still hurt or would still be sore. I'd laugh really loud and be like wanting to cry. You broke your clavicle, right?
It was a fracture.
Fracture?
And I was like 9.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing jiu-jitsu back then.
You were doing karate back then?
I was doing karate.
Yeah. Were you still training with that?
I was in a sling. I don't remember training.
Yeah.
I don't think I trained.
If it's a lingering injury and like you are taping, you are resting it, go see a doctor. Go get it checked out. A ligament can be torn, or you know, it could be something more serious than what you think it is. Get yourself checked out. I'm not a doctor.
Please go see your doctor. Well, for me personally, I'm a big baby. I will sit out training for any reason, including headaches, vomit, nausea. Just kidding.
You should sit out for vomit. I don't want you to throw up on me.
I feel like if I train too hard the previous day, I will definitely not train the next day because I am too sore and too much of a baby.
Well, on our last Thursday, she was like, I'm tired. I'm going to go home because we teach. We teach from, you get there at 3:30 and we teach until 6:30. And then she usually does my class from 6:30 to 7:30. And then our teacher's class from 7:30 until 9. And she goes, I'm too tired. I want to go home. And I said, no.
I want ice cream.
Yeah, my hand got sliced at work. And so it was all taped up. I told her, no, you have to be my training partner. Like, no, I'm so tired. I said, well, at least do my class. And she goes, okay. So she did my class. My class was hard that day.
Yeah.
And then Professor Matt rolls up, and it's time for his class.
And I'm stalling.
Yeah.
I am in the bathroom for 15 minutes like, oh, God, I have to do another class. Trying to catch my breath.
And I'm doing the warm-up, and I'm like, where the heck is Lynette?
I was in the bathroom crying.
And then it was time to do partner drills,
Yes.
warm-ups. And you came out, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm going to work with you. And we did the Granby, the partner Granby, and we killed it.
We went so fast.
We did it, but you were tired.
I was tired.
But you still pushed yourself to train, and then I didn't see you on Friday at all. I didn't see you.
Dead on Friday. I was dead.
You do have to learn how to train tired, though. It is important.
I know.
And then you had it easy because Professor Matt put me and the black belts in the middle, and we rolled with fresh partners the entire time.
Yeah.
We ended up rolling the entire class.
Mm-hmm. That was just like the warm-up, too. 2 rounds of the rotation.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, get your mouthpieces or get a sip of water.
Yeah.
And it's time to roll.
Yeah.
We were like, wait a second. What do you mean?
And it ended up being a really good class. I had a good class, even though my hand got sliced at work, and so I had it all taped up. And I went home and I cut all the tape off, and it was all bloody, but it's healed now. Neosporin has been working magic on my hand. Neosporin. It's crazy. I don't ever use it, and it actually started to close up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's already
it doesn't even look that deep.
Yeah,
God bless Neosporin.
It was like flappy earlier this week, but this did happen on Tuesday. We trained on Thursday, and today is Sunday. So it's been
almost a week.
Almost a week, yeah. So I'm like Wolverine.
You wish. What about long-term injuries? How would you train, like, say, your back?
Oh, so I have a long-term injury. I was stacked really hard by a bigger partner. At the time, I weighed 140 pounds, and this partner, I had him in triangle. He smashed my knees to the mat over my head, and I injured a disc in my back, and I got a herniated disc. That was the first one. And then a second one, I have 2 herniated discs. The second one was in a similar position. I felt like a little bit of strain, but I didn't think anything of it. And I shot in for a double leg, and the person pushed my head down. And I tried to drive up, and I felt that same, like, it feels like you're crushing a grape in your spine. Like, that's the way that I could describe it. Like, if I had a grape in my spine, and like it's just like it felt like mushy. It was like gross. And right away, all of my muscles in my back spasmed out, and it was just like I couldn't move. I was like 1990s Batman. Oh my god! I couldn't turn my head, and I couldn't breathe. And I have 2 herniated discs in my upper back, and I've been training on them ever since. Since I've had those, obviously it'll never heal the same. Right. It gets aggravated at certain times, and I train on them. I changed the way that I trained ever since the second herniated disc.
So no more triangles. You don't go for double legs.
I do double legs now. I do triangles. Instead of playing guard, because I used to do like De La Hiva, spider guard. I used to do barambolos and inverted guards and all that stuff. And I can still do it with smaller people, but I don't risk it with bigger people anymore. I don't risk being squashed by them. Now I always keep my back aligned. I'm on top. I'm pressuring. And if I ever find myself on bottom, I keep my back flat, making sure that I'm aligned, create space, get my knees in front, and I never let my knees come like past my chest. I always make sure that my knees are wide and my back is straight. We learn to deal with it and train on it and make sure to mitigate the actual pain, because the injury is always going to be there for certain injuries. And you just learn to take ibuprofen and ice it and
then just keep going
and try to keep it away from your partners.
Yeah.
But like your knee, it acts up when it's cold, right?
Cold now, yes.
How did that one happen?
I was sparring a student in our MMA class. It's a student who's my size, probably
not like a little kid.
Not a little kid. I mean,
like bigger than you.
Like he tried to do a takedown on me, and I tried to make my leg heavy. I had pretty good control, and then he falls because he doesn't know how to control his body. But his knee came up and like slammed the side of my knee. It popped, and I instantly like fell. I couldn't get back up. I remember you were like, "Can you get up? Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm not. I'm staying right here." I couldn't get up.
I walked over to you. I grabbed you. I was like, "Are you okay?"
That's pretty much how it went. And I was like, "I can stand," but then I couldn't walk. I couldn't put any like pressure on it by itself. And now when it gets cold, it acts up. It flares up. So I just put my knee compression sleeve, and pray it goes away soon.
Yeah. But you're a purple belt. You're experienced with like position. You're also very selective with your partners.
I am.
So.
And I'm not doing that to be mean. I'm just trying to keep myself safe because I'm small.
Yeah,
I'm tiny.
absolutely. Whenever my back is like hurting or it's acting up, I'm super selective with who I fight.
Yeah.
Or who I'm gonna roll with, because I can't afford to have it act up where I can't turn around in bed or I can't teach.
Right.
Because if I don't teach, I can't work. If I can't, I'm not getting paid.
Right.
Then I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. I think we're gonna say that every video.
Yeah, please.
Do not train stinky, please.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and tap that like button. If you want to follow us on our jiu-jitsu journey, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. If you'd also like to be updated on our future videos, go ahead and tap that notification bell.
Remember, tap early, tap often, and we're tapping out.
God damn it, Marco!
And remember, tap early, tap often, and we're tapping out.
Did we high five ourselves? I mean, our thighs, or did we high five each other? I think I like. No, I don't like that. Say it again.
Remember, tap early.
Oh, wait, no, redo it.
Remember, tap early, tap often.
Oh, we have to redo it.
Remember, tap early, tap often, but we're tap. Remember, tap early.
Marco, you gotta pick one thing, man. Jellyfish. Jellyfish. Turkey.
Or is it llama? Or
Baby
turtle.
llama. Oh yeah.
Turtle. Dumb, too slow.
I can't believe I fell for that.
Yeah, just hold it.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.